Okay guys, hello, CinderGames here, and shockingly this is a video uploaded on my channel. Yep, thought it would never happen. It's been about a year, really sorry. I'm going to make another video that sort of gives you the story, the whole rundown, explanation of why this hasn't happened, but for now, just enjoy this new series, Civ 6 Let's Play as the Greeks. Really relaxed, slow pace, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in the game. Hello guys, Cinder here, and I am going to be starting a Civilization Let's Play, as you've already heard. So, we have our little settler here, and this is just going to be a fairly chilled Let's Play, you know, nothing particularly special. It's just I've been really enjoying Civ 6. I think it's vast improvement upon the previous Civ games, although there's plenty of time in this series for me to ramble on about how good I think this game is. So, as you can tell already, I'm playing as the Greeks. That should be self-evident by Athens. So the Greeks, I've never played as them before, so I'm quite excited. I'm playing as Pericles, I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's the more cultural of the two leaders. They're the only Civ right now that has two leaders, and hopefully that'll change in the future. I do believe that's the plan. Because it's quite cool. Civ 4, there used to be multiple leaders for each civilization, so it sort of mixes it up a little bit, which I always find quite interesting. We're playing on island plates, so I like the island maps because I feel like all the other maps don't really have enough sea, if you know what I mean. Like continents, whenever I play continents, which is meant to be sort of, in my head, that's about 4 or 5 continents, but according to Civ, it tends, in my experience, to be 2 big land masses, which basically for me is like Pangaea times 2. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm not a fan of continents. So island plates with low sea level I find is the coolest map, because you get a good amount of sea and navies, which is cool, but you still have enough lands to not just be stuck on little tiny islands, as you know. Ooh, thank you, little village. You're a well-organised community. Craftsmanship. So, I'm not doing anything special here. Oh, hello, barbarians. Not doing anything special here as Pericles. We're just going to be going for the cultural victory. Going culture, that's what the Greeks, but particularly Pericles, are strongest at. Ooh, I think we can risk going for that little tribal village and ignoring these little spearmen here. They don't look at all angry. Yeah. As I've already said in the little...
And when I die, I want to go where they went.
True. Okay, yep. So as I said in the little intro video, I've actually, funny thing, I haven't actually recorded that yet. So although in the video you're going to be seeing this after the first bit, that's actually future me in the first bit. That's being recorded later. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to say in that. So there probably will be some overlap, and I will apologise now for that. That's my fault. And I'm going to make another video just sort of explaining where I've been for the last, let's just round it up to a year, to be sensible here. I'm not going to hide it. I'll make a full video explaining why, but basically, long story short, I had some exams, quite big exams, so I stopped doing YouTube for them. That was around March onwards. And then, best summer of my life. Lots of stuff happened, very busy most of the time. And then I just sort of never got back into YouTube. Now, the one thing I have learnt from Civ 6, which I've sort of never learned, but I'm starting to pick it up now, I feel you have to land grab quite early, which is why one of my favourite Civs in this game is Russia, because whenever you set up a city, you get, you get the bonus lands, which is great for land grabbing because you can get that extra territory.
But authority that makes a law.
With less cities. Oh, that's cool. Forgot about the wild card for Greece. That's a nice little addition. That means we can get this, and this, and get us off to a very good start. I love the economic policies. I call them industrial policies. I can almost guarantee now I'm going to call them industrial policies for the rest of the series. That's just because that's what they look like to me. You can probably tell I'm a bit rusty, to be honest. I've made a few other videos sort of in the pipeline, but I mean, like, I've not actually recorded for almost a year now, so Sorry if I'm a bit out of practice with my commentary and stuff, you know. Like any skill, if you don't use it for a while. I'm not sure you'd call it a skill, but if you don't use it for a while, it goes away. But it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to heavily edit this series. This is part of my new sort of channel philosophy. I'm going for sort of that kind of calm, I guess you could call it shit, but not shit. Just calm, that's the word we're using, politically correct. Sort of channel. Yeah, that kind of calm channel. I'll often, I think, pause for the quotes. I'm not sure if you can actually hear them now. I messed around with the sound so much before this. But if not, just a little respect to the famous, clever people that made the quotes in the first place. But yes, I will be out of practice in my commentary, is what I'm trying to say in a very out of practice way.
Skill without imagination is craftsmanship, and gives us many useful objects, such as wickerwork picnic baskets.
Yep. So, the first victory I went for actually in Civ 6 by accident was a culture victory. I like the culture victories in this game. I think they haven't changed particularly, but they are, I do feel, a bit better than the original ones, which is nice. Because in when I say original, I mean Civ 5. Because I did think they were a bit just sort of. I thought it was quite hard in Civ 5, and it was very predictable as well. I think it's harder to sort of see who's winning until it's too late. So the channel philosophy thing I'm talking about. It's sort of, I'm not sure how to really describe it more than just. If any of you ever watched Paul Soares Jr., basically the father of sort of Minecraft YouTube, that kind of thing. His videos, they were, particularly because he was, as YouTube was just starting out, but also because his videos were just sort of new. They were very, then they weren't very edited. They had very little sort of tampering with them. He was always very relaxed. There was no background music except for the music in the game. His voice was just enough to sort of entertain you for the whole thing. And although my voice probably won't be entertaining enough for a while, that's my aspiration to eventually. I hope now, if you're still watching this video, that my voice was interesting enough. Another thing, I'm going to record these in bulk, so there won't be much continuity. No, actually, there'll be too much continuity between episodes because I'm obviously not going to cut myself off mid-sentence, but I'm doing like a bulk 1-2 hour recording. That'll make 3-4 episodes, and I'll do that for a while. So every 4th episode will be a sort of new episode in my mind. I might also speak a bit quietly, but that's just because I'm tired. I started sixth form studies now in England, and yeah, so it's not a lot more work, but yeah, I'm getting old now, getting tired, more waking up early, going to the toilet, that kind of stuff. Going a bit crazy, as you can tell. So yeah, that's what's happening. I'm not liking the sort of it's quite a nice big island actually. I do like these drawings that they have in Civ 6 there. They are nice. I approve of those. I'm trying to figure out whether I should build it on the hill or not. I want to use the hill for production, and I'm not entirely sure still how these little things work. The sort of how the yield icons for cities work. I'm not sure if they disappear or what happens. Because this is built on a marsh, and so I don't want to build on the hill for now. So I think we'll build our second city here. I'm not doing it so much to land grab, really. It's also useful, particularly in Civ 6 with the deconstructed cities, just to have multiple cities, because you can then, this one can have science and culture, this one can have culture and industry or something. Like, it's useful to have sort of specialized cities. Also, building on the coast got us the little tech boost. These are really useful. I was playing a game with a friend, and I was really behind, not doing very well at all. But I managed to keep up with him, even though he was getting another 100 science per turn. I could sort of keep up with him, because I just kept only researching the techs with these little filled up bits, which meant that I sort of, I can explain the maths, but I'm sure you don't want me to. It took me half the time to research each thing, whereas it wasn't him, and so I could sort of keep up with him scientifically, even though he had 100 more science per turn, Which is why if I don't meet a civilization, I might not actually continue writing. I might just stop it and go for the wheel. I'm sort of going off the fact that I hopefully... Actually, no, I don't want another civ to be on this island, do I? That'd be very annoying. So yeah, we're just about to finish our worker. I'm quite interested because in my previous games, I've neglected the civic tree a fair bit just because it's new and sort of old habits. I kept going for the other one, the tech tree. But hopefully going for a cultural victory with the Greeks, I will progress up the civic tree faster than I go up the tech tree, which will be interesting. I've never done that before. My strategy before has always been sort of, hey, there's the tech tree, and then you can sort of fill in the civic tree as you go along, but it doesn't really matter, it's not important, although the more I play, the more I realise how crucial having a good government is to doing well in this game. So yeah, that will be exciting. I haven't actually played as these guys, so I will probably forget some of their specialities. The ones I've played with before are Japan, Russia, and Germany. So now we can get traders, that's good. Might do some internal trade, since we haven't met anyone yet. We can get rid of this 30% production towards builders now. And I think we're going to get... I think we're going to get caravanners here, and then we're going to get +1 production here, because I don't actually really care about faith, and once we've got the trade routes up, that's going to get us more gold than this was getting us. So that's a plus in my mind. I've done a faith victory once, a religious victory, and that was enough to put me off ever doing one again. I've done it, I got the achievement, and we're never doing one ever again, because I found it not very fun, to be honest. I thought it was a bit, I don't want to use the word excruciating, but I don't think it was great, to be honest. Like, I might actually go and try and get the Colosseum, because I guess there's some culture and some amenities. It's just I thought it was a bit... It required a lot of apostles and effort and stuff. Like, compared to the other victories, I know all the victories require effort, but I thought the religious wars are almost more brutal than actual wars. As in, no one dies, really, but it's just... You need to have such high faith to keep purchasing, because you can only purchase, you can't train the religious warriors, like the apostles and the missionaries and stuff. You have to buy them. So you need a lot of faith, because the buying cost goes up each time. And then you have to spread it around the world, and there's always that one religion that's got the sort of super strong, whatever you call it, that lets it have like religious spreading and stuff. Someone's built Stonehenge. I always try and guess who it is, but I'm going to say China just because that's quite early, although it's not really, it's turn 32, so I guess however many turns, what, like 10 to get it, and then yeah, that's doable for anyone, to be honest. Right, I want to be getting sailing and possibly even shipbuilding, because on an oceans map, island plates, it's crucial to be able to sort of traverse the seas very early on, because obviously, I mean, I'm not doubting this island really to be bigger than about that sort of area, so maximum, bearing in mind this looks like a big desert, 2-3 more cities possibly on this island before we have to move on. So I mean, it's ideal if we can get that tech as soon as possible. We'll get a trader here, and then we'll get
Writing means sharing.
a district built, hopefully. I might, yeah, I'll probably go for something else, because we're going to build a district quite soon, and we'll build a science district, because having said what I said earlier about how important the civics tree is and how it's almost equally important to the tech tree, I somewhat take that back, because I feel that you can neglect the civic tree to an extent and still be fine if you've got good enough science, but I don't think it's reversible. I don't think you can neglect the science tree and go ahead on the civics tree. So even though we're going for strong culture and civics and stuff, we're still going to have to keep up with our science, because there's no point having a democracy if it's a knight versus an infantry. You're never gonna... They're just gonna invade you, stamp all over you, and you've lost the game, regardless of how much tourism you have. That's another thing I've found in my civilization career now, having played from 4 until 6 now. I almost always never defend myself enough. So I mean, we're just getting a bit more stuff here. That's useful. Trade route, that gets us currency. Gets us roads as well. That's a nice thing. I like how you don't have to build roads. I think that's a real good benefit. I'm going to build it here. And I'll tell you why. It's because then we can build a mine here and then theoretically an industrial zone there. Or a mine there, lumber mill there, industrial zone here. And that will get us a big industrial bonus, theoretically. So I'm going to build the campus district there. Once you've placed the districts down, you can't replace them. So that is quite annoying. But I mean, obviously, once you've built it, you can't move them. But I do feel when it's like this early stage of construction, once or twice I have not misclicked, just sort of not thought it through before I clicked, and it's somewhat annoyed me. 14 production is not shabby at all for this stage of the game. Like, this has got 2.9. I do feel we should get a worker out here soon. Thing is, I can't explore down here because my warrior cannot really. It could, I guess we could, using the experience we'll get to heal us. I guess we could take out the spearman, but it's a bit of a tall order, to be honest.
Sometimes the wheel turns slowly, but it turns.
I do like Sean Bean, and a bit patriotic here, but I do like the fact that he's English on it. Just, I like that. Because, I mean, a lot of games, let's be honest, are very American. There's too many American voices. And British accents are the best, so, I mean, who doesn't like a little bit of scene bean? And he was in Game of Thrones, that's a plus. If I build a city here, or here, it would be here particularly because it's on the coast. It would be so defendable. This is literally, I feel we can corner off this top bit, maybe build a city up here or something. Get a lot of clams. That's a lot of clams. And then have a city here that's just like the guardian city to the rest of Athens and stuff. The rest of the Greek Empire. Okay, that's cool. Turns out our warriors are actually much better than the spearmen. I like this game. I feel it's an improvement. I think, generally speaking, everyone thinks Civ 6 is great, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit buggy to start with, but I think everyone agrees. IGN gave it an incredibly good score. Sorry, excuse me, January blues. A bit of a cough, a bit ill. Okay, so this is looking like a nice little bleak desert that we don't want to inhabit, and a nice little horseman that's going to come and beat us up, so having said that, stalemate is not shabby, bearing in mind he's going to get a promotion from this. See, look, promotion right there. And, yeah, that didn't actually work so well in my head. Well, no, it did work better in my head. He's going to die. We're going to get invaded. We're all going to die. We've lost the game. Thank you very much for watching. I've been CinderGames. Just joking. He's going to die, but the Empire shall live on. Unless he fights very honourably. Which he did. Wow. That's a lot of stuff we got. Okay, I like this unit maintenance one, although we need that temporarily because we're fighting some barbarians. Do we get anything else good? Ancient and classical wonders. We're going for an ancient and classical wonder soon. But I will change it once we get the civic that lets us build it, because I think that's a smarter move. Oh, he's confirmed the policy. Yeah. Okay, so that was very stupid of them. They could have invaded and attacked, and you would have seen that my soldier dies. It will be a mistake I make time and time again, I promise you. I look at the left and naturally assume that the left-hand side is our guy. So looking at that, if I wasn't thinking properly, I'd think we would win that, even though it says minor defeat. I'm going to put that down to me being an idiot. But I'm not sure. But now it looks like, yeah, stalemate, you see. So I reckon we can win that over time. A little bit of a war of attrition there, but break through the little defensive. What are we going to call this? The Athens Pass or something? That's not very cool. We need a cooler name than that. But yeah. We need